You think you're a good person. You avoid conflict. You help people. You stay understanding. You say yes even when you don't want to. But what if that's not kindness? What if you're just terrified of rejection? Because not all niceness comes from love. Sometimes, it comes from fear. Fear of disappointing people. Fear of being disliked. Fear of being abandoned. Fear of being judged. Fear of losing approval. And when fear controls your kindness, it stops being kindness. It becomes survival. A lot of people confuse people-pleasing with morality. But they're not the same thing. Real kindness has boundaries. Fear-based kindness does not. That's why you apologize too quickly, over-explain yourself, avoid saying no, tolerate disrespect, stay quiet when something hurts you. Not because you're good. Because your nervous system learned rejection is dangerous. You say yes when you mean no. You agree just to avoid tension. You suppress your real emotions to keep people comfortable. You let people disrespect you, then convince yourself, I'm just being mature. But maturity is not self-erasure. And peacekeeping is not always emotional strength. Sometimes, it's fear wearing a socially acceptable mask. At some point, your brain learned, being liked keeps me safe. Maybe love felt conditional. Maybe approval felt unstable. Maybe conflict led to emotional punishment. So, your personality adapted. You became agreeable, emotionally careful, hyper-aware of others, terrified of upsetting people. Not because it reflected your true self, but because it protected you socially. And eventually, you stopped knowing the difference. Here's how you know this is you. You feel guilty for having boundaries. You fear people being disappointed in you. You replay conversations wondering if someone is upset. You struggle to express anger directly. And the biggest sign, you secretly resent people for expectations you never communicated clearly. Because you trained everyone to believe you'll always tolerate more. Being kind is healthy. Being emotionally dependent on approval is not. There's a difference between compassion and self-abandonment. Real emotional strength is not avoiding rejection. It's surviving it without losing yourself. Because if your identity depends on everyone liking you, then your personality no longer belongs to you. It belongs to other people's reactions. So, ask yourself honestly, are you truly a good person, or did you simply become excellent at avoiding disapproval? Because some people are not kind from inner peace. They are kind from fear. And fear-based kindness eventually turns into exhaustion, resentment, and emotional invisibility. Here's what nobody tells you. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you're not being kind. You're paying a toll. You're buying temporary safety with your own authenticity. And like any economy based on fear, the price only goes up. The more you pay, the more people expect. The more you suppress, the less they respect. The more you accommodate, the less they consider you. This is the approval economy, and you're going bankrupt emotionally while pretending to be generous. Psychologists call this the false self, a personality structure built not from who you are, but from who you had to be to stay safe. Children who grow up in emotionally unpredictable environments learn to become invisible negotiators. They scan for threats. They monitor moods. They adjust their personality in real time to avoid punishment or abandonment. And here's the tragedy. By the time they're adults, they don't even know they're performing. They think the performance is them. But a false self cannot receive love, because it's not real enough to be loved. And a false self cannot give love, because it's too busy trying to survive. Here's the equation no one teaches you. Suppression times time equals resentment. Every time you swallow your truth to keep the peace, you're depositing a small amount of resentment into a hidden account. You think you're being good. You think you're being patient. But your unconscious is keeping score. And one day, when the account is full, you will explode. Not because the last thing was worth exploding over, but because the last thing was the final thing you were willing to swallow. And then you'll be called dramatic or unstable, when really, you were just honest too late. Try this. Next time you're about to say yes when you want to say no, pause. Ask yourself one question. If no one could see my reaction, what would I do? If the answer is different from what you actually do, then you're not choosing kindness. You're choosing performance. And if you're performing kindness, it's not kindness. It's compliance disguised as virtue. Here's the final truth. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone should like you. Because liking someone is not a moral obligation, it's a natural consequence of alignment. If you water down your personality so everyone can tolerate you, you become tolerable to everyone but meaningful to no one. And the deepest human need is not to be liked by everyone. It's to be truly seen by someone. But you cannot be truly seen if you refuse to be truly you. So, the question is not, how do I avoid disapproval? The question is, who am I when I stop performing? Because until you answer that, you'll keep confusing fear with goodness, survival with kindness, and approval with safety. You were programmed. Every culture, every family, every social system rewards compliance. From the moment you're born, the message is clear. Be good. Don't cause trouble. Fit in. And this programming runs so deep that you don't even recognize it as programming. You call it being a good person. But who profits from your compliance? Not you. Not your soul. Not your emotional health. The people who benefit from your silence are the ones who don't want to be confronted. The ones who benefit from your agreeability are the ones who don't want to be challenged. Niceness as a survival strategy is not a virtue. It's a social contract signed without your conscious consent. So how do you break free? Step 1. Stop calling fear kindness. Just stop. Name it honestly. Say to yourself, I'm not being kind right now. I'm being afraid. The first moment of honesty breaks the trance. Step 2. Start small. Say no to something trivial. Someone asks you to stay 5 minutes late. Say no. Someone asks for a favor you don't want to do. Say no. Not cruelly. Just honestly. Watch the world not end. Step 3. Tolerate the discomfort. When you disappoint someone for the first time, your nervous system will scream, fix it. Apologize. Take it back. Don't. Sit in the fire. Let them be disappointed. Let them be upset. Prove to your body that conflict is not death. Step 4. Reclaim your anger. Anger is not bad. Anger is information. It tells you when a boundary has been crossed. If you never feel anger, you're not enlightened, you're disconnected. Healthy people feel anger. They just don't destroy things with it. They use it. Step 5. Build a new identity. Not, I am a good person, but, I am a real person. I am honest. I have boundaries. I am safe even when not everyone approves. The greatest lie of the people pleaser is this. If I am perfect enough, I will finally be safe. But safety was never in perfection. Safety was in authenticity. The fear-based person says, I need everyone to approve of me so I can feel okay. The free person says, I am okay, and some people will approve, and some won't, and that is not a threat, it's just life. You do not need to be everyone's favorite character. You need to be the author of your own. And no author writes a story where the protagonist sacrifices their truth for the comfort of people who wouldn't cross the street for them. So, I'll ask you one last time. Are you truly a good person? Or did you simply become excellent at emotional survival? Because if your kindness is built on fear, it will collapse. Not today, maybe, but eventually. Resentment always finds a way out. And the only way to build something that doesn't collapse is to tear down what was built on fear and rebuild it on truth. That truth might cost you some relationships, but it will give you something far more valuable, the experience of being real.